Welcome back to the channel. Well, it started off alright, did a little bit of B-roll as you've just seen, and then this happened with the vlogging camera. Oh dear, oh dear. So, it's going to be a vlog pieced together from the iPhone today now. It's smashed the lens, broke the jack plug, and anyway, let me tell you what's going on today. I'm at Spurn Point and carrying on the printing theme. Oh, this sounds hard to walk in. Yeah, carrying on the printing theme. I thought I'd better practice what I preach, so I've come down to Spurn Point. It's quite rough, as you can see. Some lovely wave action. Now I'm hoping to photograph one or two of the fantastic groins that are down at Spurn Point if the high tide doesn't beat me. I think I've got here on time, but Spurn Point's on the east coast, North Lincolnshire, South Yorkshire, east coast, I dare say. Now the end of Spurn Point, I'll pop a map up now. It does get cut off at high tide, but I got my wellies on, my waterproofs, so hopefully where all the groins are is just beyond where the tide covers Spurn Island, if you like. So I'm hot-footing it over there now, complete with broken vlogging camera. It might be a bit tricky this vlog now, but I'll try and piece it together, and we'll see how we get on. Let's go and find them groins. Right, so the tide is coming in quite rapidly, and I've just held my hand on the tripod and I can feel it moving when the tide comes in, and it is just there's some stones that are hitting the tripod legs, and I'm going to get some movement in the frame, so I think it's time to move on. But there's the image. Looks okay on the back of the camera. Might need a bit of editing, but quite happy with that. I've composed it so it's going at a little bit of an angle, a little bit to the right hand side of the frame, but I don't mind that. Nice bit of leading lines. As you can see, look, the foam's coming in now. So I mean, it's so bright today, I'm going to get some shadows coming off the groins, but I don't mind that too much. And also, if I just zoom into that, there is a net, an old fishing net on there, and of course there's going to be a lot of movement in that, but I think I might leave it. I have taken a still, a faster shutter speed to make that net nice and still, and I might edit it in, but I don't know. I like to leave things natural, so I think we'll leave that. Oh, here's a big one. Look, I better hang on to my tripod. Look at that. But anyway, it's so difficult on the iPhone. But whoa, here we go. Good job I got my wellies on. Whoa, I think it's time to move. But settings wise, I'm at f22 just to get a lovely depth from front to back of the frame. I've been shooting anywhere from 1 minute 30 to 2 minutes 20. ISO 50. I'm in monochrome, shooting in RAW on the 5D Mark IV as always, and the 16 to 35 f4. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that image. Anyway, I'm gonna move on further down, because I think this is the nipping point here, where when the tide comes right in. Whoa, here's a big one. Crikey, look at that. Right, I'm definitely going to move before I get caught out. Yeah, that's the nipping point there where the tide cuts you off. So I'm going to head further up where there's a lot more groins to go at, and we'll get some more images. Great fun. I really like the look of this groin. It's got a nice bend to it. The front 3 or 4 groins have obviously been forced over during time. There's a nice leading line that leads out with a 45-degree angle beam. That looks quite nice. However, I don't think it's going to be an ultra high tide today, because I've been waiting for this gully here to fill up and it's just not happening, which is a real shame. A bit more netting on there, old fisherman's nets, which had made a nice bit of movement in the frame, but so far, over about 10 minutes of waiting, this gully's only just trickled over once, so I don't think I'm going to be very lucky with this one today, but we'll give it a bit longer, but we'll see. Well, unfortunately, as I guessed, that gully never filled up, so I don't want to waste too much time. There's plenty more groins to go at, so I'm going to head further down and see what else we can find. Well, I found a very similar looking groin again, with that 45-degree angle brace post, which adds to the frame nicely. I've offset my composition. I think I did look at first of going straight down the groins, just at a little bit of an angle, but the brace bar was just coming out of the composition too much. So I've come round a bit of an angle, and it balances out nicely. But we've got some fisherman's net again, which I'm obviously going to leave. Get a nice bit of movement in the frame. I'm not going to edit over and put a still image on that. Let's have a bit of movement, keep things natural. I like to. I forgot to mention earlier, I've obviously got the 10 stop on just to slow everything down. We're going for about a 2.5-3 minute exposure, just to make sure that this froth comes round here nicely, really fills the frame up with all that movement. We're going to have some shadows in the frame, but well, there's a nice wave, look. Just the job, that's what I've been waiting for. Hopefully get one more of them within this exposure time, and should be a nice frame that. Yeah, I've got the 10 stop on, f22, ISO 50, and I'm fully zoomed in at 35mm. And yeah, I think this should be a nice one, and I can't wait to print these off. I've always wanted some nice black and whites on the wall from the coast, so today is going to be that day. Just the job. So I found another groin, and this part of the beach has quite a big step up, and I found that with the camera at head height it was looking down and the composition was quite long, so I've gone for a low angle, as low as I dare go anyway. I've got a nice 45-degree angle beam that's, well, most of it's hidden in the sand, but it's a nice element at the front of the frame, and obviously your eye leads off. I've come light side of the groins again, just so that I get a nice bit of detail on the wood. Sun's obviously to our right, so this side of the groins are nicely lit, so I've gone for that sort of angle again. And yeah, 2 minutes again, 2 minutes 30, just to make sure I get all the groins nice and covered, like it's doing now. And yeah, should make a nice frame hopefully. I'll pop it up now. So you've just seen that last groin that I photographed. Nothing special, to be fair. And as I've walked back towards the car, if you like, back down Spurn Point, the waves are still crashing in, and crashing in better than they were before on the previous groin. But not quite enough for the 35mm zoomed fully in. It was still leaving these top groins a bit dry. So I've swapped to the 70-200 and I've zoomed in so that I'm just composing the post with the net on and then outwards into the sea. And it's working out quite nicely. Again, got some lovely light showing off all the detail in the groins. And I think this could be a nicer frame on the telephoto, but we shall see. I'll pop it up now. So what you're seeing here, guys, is my current composition. I've zoomed into about 110mm and something like this. Cut the horizon out. I'm starting with that groin with the 45-degree brace post on, and it's making a lovely frame. I'll just zoom out. Yeah, that's what it is, and obviously it's getting covered every single wave, and it really is a nice, smooth, minimalist frame. And I think I'm going to be happy with this one. I'm pleased I put the 70-200 on now, because it just gives you a bit more scope to really fill the frame and get that minimalist shot. So I hope you like this one, guys. I'll pop it up now. Well, it just goes to show the power of the current and the sea in general, because that groin wasn't there half an hour ago. I don't know where it's appeared from, but it's there now. So I'm back at the second groin that I photographed earlier on, this time going for a really low angle, back on the 35mm, and as you can see, the waves are now lapping round the end, the first groin, nicely. So I should be able to get a nice, minimalist, smooth frame again. And also, there's a few clouds in the sky now. So I've gone for a low angle. Horizon's just above halfway on the composition. Getting some of them nice clouds in as well. And fingers crossed, I should get the frame that I wanted before. I should have waited, shouldn't I? But with the tide being nearly fully in, I didn't want to miss out anything further down the coast. But we're back here now for a second go. And if I get a nice frame, I'll pop it up now, guys.
Well, as you can see in this image, there's a lot more movement, and I thought I'd have a bit of an experiment, and I opted for a much faster shutter speed of, I say fast, just 11 seconds on the exposure time, and I think it's really added some atmosphere and drama to this frame. But let me know what you think in the comments.
So I just thought I'd try a slightly different angle now that the sun's come round a bit and it's almost behind Spurn Point now. And so as you can see, it's lighting up the front of the groins quite nicely now. So I've stayed at a low angle and I've composed it so that, let me just zoom in, I've composed it so that once this wave's out of the way, hopefully you should just be able to see all the groin through the gap between the second and the third post. And should make a nice frame if I'm not getting too much movement in the tripod. I've dug the tripod right into the sand I'm just hoping there's no movement when the waves just come in and lap the bottom of the tripod, but we shall see. But it looks like it might be a nice frame. I'll pop it up now, guys. Well, I think I'm going to head back now. I need to come back because look at all these rocks and boulders. What was an old building or an old pier? And right out there, I don't know if we can see it at the moment, somewhere out there, just there, is a real nice set of groins, but obviously the end of a pier. But I'd have to wait another 2 or 3 hours, I think, before they appear. So I'm going to call it a day from here. Let's get back, get the printer set up, and let's print off 1 or 2 images. I'll see you back in the office. Woo! Hey! Right, we're back in the office, warmed up a little bit, have acclimatised, although surprisingly it wasn't actually too cold down at Spurn Point. I had some thick trousers on and my waterproof, so I had about 6 layers on top and woolly hat. It was just the wind that was a bit annoying, and I must apologise for the audio, the terrible audio quality, having filmed the whole vlog on the phone, but needs must. I have actually got the M50 rolling again now. I've got an old lens that I've popped on it. So, yeah, I'll have to be getting a new lens ordered for that. Wretched wind. But anyway, the perils of doing a bit of B-roll. I heard the thud and I thought, I know exactly what that is. Anyway, never mind. We managed to make some sort of vlog. But anyway, on to the printing with the Canon Pro 300 that I spoke about in the last video. And I must say, so far, I've printed off several different photographs, and the quality is second to none. Absolutely brilliant, love it, and I've really been enjoying going through my hard drives and printing off some of my favourite images. But anyway, you've seen the images already from today's vlog, in this vlog already. This is my favourite from today. It's, as you can imagine, it's the frame where I got a nice low angle, made the groin really powerful, filled 3/4 of the frame. There was a nice bit of cloud by the end of the session, and surprisingly, I'd done, as I said in the video, I'd done 3 or 4 different frames, different shutter exposure time, shutter speeds, and this is actually, I think this was 5 seconds. I've put the settings in the video obviously earlier on, but yeah, I didn't go for a 2-minute exposure, and I think this 5-second exposure, I think it was f11, ISO 50, it's captured a bit more atmosphere, a bit more mood, and it just looks a bit eerier. You can actually see the movement of the froth, and because the exposure time wasn't quite so long, I haven't got any movement hardly in the fisherman's net, which I think really adds to this frame. And also I quite like the broken groin, which incidentally wasn't there earlier on in the day. When I went back, it had come in from somewhere, I don't know where, but I thought it added to the frame a bit, this groin, this damaged groin. There's a bit of movement in that, but over 5 seconds, not a lot of movement. But yeah, I actually prefer, it just looks, it's got a bit more drama to it. You can actually see the waves coming in, and yeah, so I opted for this one in the end. But anyway, let's get printing. Like before, I've got the Canon Pro 300 as in the previous video, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love it. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is like in the last video, I'm going to put the image onto a canvas, flatten the layer, give it a bit of a white border, and I'm actually going to give it a bit of a stroke, which I'll just a little tiny black stroke on the outside of the frame, just to bring the black and white out a bit more, and then we'll get it printing. Right, so here's the image.
I'm just going to drag that across. I've got my canvas there, so we'll just drag that over. We'll click yes to that. Right, here we are. So first off, I'm going to go into layers, and I'm just going to go for a stroke. We're going to go 5 pixels inside. As you can see here, it's inside the photograph. Obviously black. We'll make sure that's pure black, all the zeros. Okay, that. It's only a small bead around the outside, but I think it's enough just to bring out the blacks. So we'll do that. I'm going to hit Command T, which gives me my transform box. I want a little bit of a white border. Oh, incidentally, the canvas was the same size as my paper size, which is 297 by 420 mil. So we'll get that like that. I want a little bit of a white border, not too much, but we'll have a little bit. Just go into view and just snap is, let's just go back on there because I've clicked off it. Snap is chosen and it should snap into the center. There we are. Hit enter, and I think that's quite a nice white border. Just nice. And that white bead, the white stroke around the outside, just nice. Just nice, that is. And I say, I just like the drama, all the waves here you can see. It's a bit fluffy. It's not your pure fine art, smooth finished image, but I just think this has got a bit of atmosphere and a bit of drama to it. And I say those nets aren't, there's not a lot of movement in the net, so that's good as well. Right, so let's flatten that. So we'll go into layer, flatten the layer. There we go. That's flattened that. And right, we'll go to print now. I'm on wireless printing, no leads attached, so that's great. I love that element of it. So we've got the Canon Pro 300 chosen. Let's just go into print settings and make sure we're right. So we've got A3, we've got the default settings, Pro 300, so that's okay. We'll save that. That's at A3. Now I've changed, actually, here we go, look. So that's all the Canon printer profiles. Now I'm going for this real high gloss paper. I think a high gloss, a real deep, heavy gloss paper is going to be ideal for this black and white. It'll just bring out all the blacks. It's 300 GSM. A3, not A3 Plus, we're going for A3 on this one. And I say it's the Pro Platinum. So we've got that loaded. So we'll go and choose Pro Platinum. So that's right, 300. Photoshop Manager's colours, Pro Platinum, and jobs are good. And let's click print. It looks okay on there, so that's great. Let's get that printer warmed up. It is looking, I'm just going to say it's looking fantastic. Again, like I said in the last video, I've done a recent screen calibration, so I know that this is, without no word of a lie, this is the first time I haven't done a test print or anything. I've gone exactly what is on the screen. Now, someone did put a comment on the last video. Do I up the exposure slightly on the screen before print? And I have on this one, just to see if there's any difference. I'll compare it to the screen in a minute, but this is looking fantastic on this gloss. And I'm pleased I put that little black stroke. It just frames the print nicely, and this is going to be ready to go straight. Oh, this is looking fantastic. I'm so excited. I've always wanted to print some of my own black and whites, and like I said in the last video, I've got hundreds of black and white atmospheric shots, all sorts of different subjects, just stored on the hard drive, and now I'm going to be able to bring them to life. But this is looking brilliant. Here it comes, it's nearly done. Looks fantastic. Brilliant. As soon as it's off, I'll show you. Here we go, quick as that. I was going to stop the recording, but I don't need to. And there it is. How about that? Oh, you can see the gloss, see me light, my studio lighting reflecting on it. But it's magnificent. Look at that. And once again, it is exactly, I mean, I know I'm under unnatural lighting here, but that looks exactly what I see on the screen. That is fantastic. And the gloss, crikey. I know obviously it's going to go in a frame with the glass, but I know when I used luster paper for that woodland image, You can still see the luster through the glass, you know, but that is fantastic, and you can hear it. Oh, what a great sound. Oh, I'm really enjoying printing off at the minute. I can't emphasise enough how important it is to finish that photography process. And I've done all this in one day. Went out this morning, had a good day's shooting, got back before it got dark, luckily, warmed up a bit, and there's the finished product, all in one day. This Pro 300, this Canon Pro 300 is fantastic. I couldn't rate it higher as it's doing its thing. I don't know what it's doing, but it's cooling off perhaps, sorting the inks out. But that is absolutely brilliant. Strongly advised, get yourselves a printer, guys. Like I said last week, I know there's an initial outlay, but to get this from a lab, you're looking at something of this quality, this high, this heavy paper gloss quality. You're looking at, I don't know, $9.99, where I'm sure, like I said in the last video, that's probably cost about £2, £2.25 with, you know, with the ink, but it's not quite full size. But get yourselves a printer, guys. It's the best thing I've done, and to do that all in one day, go out this morning, get that sorted out, get it edited, which you've seen in the video earlier on, and then print it off. The only thing I'm not going to be able to do today is frame it. I'll have to do another video where I go from capture to framing. That'd be ideal. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. There we are, the finished article. I really love that, and I need to get back down Spurn Point because, like you saw in the video at the end, hope you could see it on the video. I didn't get there early enough. I need to get there at low tide because there's some really nice, quirky looking groins quite far out, probably the end of a pier. So I need to go back and get them and get a similar sort of image to that. But yeah, I think that is going to go in the portfolio. Absolutely brilliant. That, look at that. Right. Without further ado, I'm going to load another one, I think, and print another one off that you've seen on here, and I'll perhaps show that in the next video. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Apologies for that audio off the phone. It didn't sound very good, but I made the best of a bad job, and thanks for being patient with the video and watching it all the way through. Leave any comments below. All the information and links to the Canon Pro 300 and other Canon printers and Canon Pro services, it'll all be in the description below, so feel free to click on that, and I'll get as many links on there as I can for the Canon Pro printers. And yeah, thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Have a great week. Catch up soon. Job's a good one. Well, I hit stop on the vlogging camera, turned everything off, and then I thought, I'm sure I've got an A3 framed, an aviation print framed somewhere with a nice border on it. And I've been and found it. And just to totally finish off the photography process from capture to framing, how about that? Oh dear, I should have incorporated it into the actual video. But anyway, a little bit of a bonus. That is definitely the photography process done and dusted. And I am absolutely chuffed with that. I've got to give the glass a bit of a clean, but just thought I'd pop it in there quickly and show you. Absolutely brilliant. I am absolutely chuffed to bits. Look at that. That is going to get hung straight downstairs for me to look at time and time again and appreciate it. And yeah, job's a good one. Photography process done.